Okay, so I've started the recording. Awesome. Okay, let's all come into sitting on a block or on a pillow, bolster, whatever feels good. And we'll just begin today by bringing our awareness to our body, to our breath. Bring our awareness to the present moment. That's the whole purpose of our practice, is to become more present, not worrying about what's gone beyond and not worrying about the physical scan of your body and see if there's anything going on that you feel right. Just acknowledge it. Tune into your inhalation and your exhalation. Let your face be soft, let your eyes be soft. Close your eyes, just let them sink back into their sockets. Release tension from your forehead and your jaw. Just continue to watch your inhalation and your exhalation. Your hands to the outside of your ears, fingers together. Take a minute just to feel any energy. Symbolically, what we're doing here is we're taking all the monkey mind, all the crazy thoughts that we have, all the many thoughts we have, and just condensing them. Bring them to the front of our forehead, to the frontal cortex. Please push them down to the heart. Just think of something that you're grateful for today. Practice being present, being here, your body, mind, health. Set an intention for the practice today. Be a lot of breathing focus on the beginning of this practice, so it will help you bring your awareness to what you're doing in the present moment, now. Slowly drop your hands to your lap and open your eyes, and we will begin by going into Adho Mukha Virasana. So, toes together and knees wide. If you have knee issues, please feel free to lie on your back and draw your knees up towards your chest. So you're going to walk your hands out really nice and slowly, a little bit at a time, until finally you come down to where you're able to come down to. Let the spine drop. Go towards your heels and bring your breastbone forward. Make sure you're grounding your hands into the floor, all the knuckles grounding in. Focus on your breath. Take the inner groins back towards your tailbone. Breathe into your lower back. And then slowly walk your hands up. Bring the knees in. Come on up to all fours. For some very gentle and slow cat and cows. Use your breath. As you lengthen the front body and you're in your cow pose, you're inhaling, and as you drop the tailbone, suck the belly in and up, you're exhaling and draw the shoulder blades away. Inhaling and lengthening. Exhaling. And rounding the back. Pushing your hands into the floor, drawing your shoulder blades together, letting your head drop. Inhale, back up again. One last exhale. Round and spine. And then back to neutral. We're going to come into a standing forward bend, but we're doing sort of a restorative version. So we're going to take our feet a little bit wider than we normally do. We're going to bend our knees, hinge at the hips, bring the abdomen to the thighs, put one hand, grab one elbow, the other elbow. Make your head drop. The top of your head, ideally, is facing the floor. If it's not, bend your knees forward. This is about your spine, not your hamstring. Focus on your breath. Focus on inhaling and exhaling. Side body lengthen. The head be heavy. Your head's about anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds. So draw the spine, lift the spine down. And then take your hands onto your knees and come halfway up, and then all the way up to standing. You can join your thumbs if you want, or the palms of your hand. Find your Tadasana, shift your weight onto your heels, draw your thighs back, your tailbone down, and get long. Make the abdomen and the lower back draw together. Hug your hips from the outside into the midline. The tips of your shoulder blades into your body. You're almost like in a little forward bend in that upper part of the body. Then exhale. Then just take your hands onto your rib cage and lift your ribs off your hips. This is that length that we want throughout the whole practice today, and always really is when we let the ribs come down, but then the spine sinks and the pelvis starts to tilt. And that creates a recipe for disaster. I can attest to that myself. Okay, so next we're going to come back down onto the floor. We're going to go into child's pose. Now, if you have knee issues or just ate too much supper today and child's pose is not happening for you, or your lower back's really tight, then you can lie down. So child's pose with your hands back, maybe have your forehead on your pillow, whatever you need. Okay, we're going to breathe here. So we're going to stay a little bit. So you have to be comfortable. If you need something under your knees, or if your knees are sore, that you can bend them, you can always take your blanket and put them behind in the crease of your knees. I'm even folding my blanket, so I've got my blanket there, and then sit back, and that might feel better for you. So there's lots of options there. Also, you can just take a face cloth with it underneath, or a strap, something to put more space behind the knee. Okay, and of course, if your knees are just sore from leaning on them, then just put your blanket underneath your setup. Okay, so it would be like this. And then if you are doing the other variation, just lie down on your back and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, so we're in child's pose this way, or we are lying down on our back and we're hugging our knees into our chest like this. All right, I'm just going to walk you through what we'd like to do next. That's just a little breathing exercise. So the first thing I want you to focus on is breathing into your abdomen. Just really feel the inhalation and the exhalation, the pressure of the abdomen pushing into your thighs and back. It's easier for me to talk when I'm standing up, but you're in child's pose. When I'm sitting down, sorry. Just bring that awareness to the abdomen. Of course, you're breathing in and out through the nose, feeling the expansion of the rib cage as well. Really focusing, drawing all your awareness and attention to the belly. And then still in this child's pose, we're going to focus next. We're going to drop from the belly to the pelvic floor. So that's the space between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Set of muscles that support all your internal organs, and those are those that called the perineum, or the space between. If you just think about the space between your pubic bone and your tailbone, the pubic bone and the anal sphincter. So that's what I want you to focus on as you breathe. Just feel or sense what is going on in your pelvic floor when you inhale, you exhale, especially in this position. On the inhale, you might feel the pelvic floor soften. And on the exhale, you might feel a little bit more of a contraction or closing. Then just before we come out, bring your awareness to that connection between the abdomen moving and the pelvic floor, releasing and holding on. Just try to make a connection there with what's happening, what kind of movement there is in the pelvis. All right, and then slowly come out, whichever pose you're in. Use your hands for support. Walk your way back up to sitting. And now we're going to lie down. And we're going to place our head on something soft. And we're going to bend our knees. So we'll be lying down like this, the knees bent. If you want, just for comfort's sake, you can bring your feet a little wider and let your knees rest against each other, or you can leave them just in line. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We're focusing still on the breath. So we focus on the abdomen, rising and falling first in our child's pose, and so we can do that again here. Kind of movement taking place as we breathe in the abdomen. Are there corners of your abdomen or areas of your abdomen that feel like they're not part of the breath? Is the belly rising and falling? Is it pretty stuck? Then again, go into that awareness of the pelvic floor. Can you experience the pelvic floor easier here in this position than you could in child's pose? Or is it more difficult actually? And then next, I want you to think about your sacrum. Remember, your sacrum is that little part of your back, just above your butt crack, if you want to put it that way. It's that triangle, that flat part. You're probably lying on it right now. So the sacrum, and then think of your tailbone. Your tailbone is below the sacrum towards your feet. It's that most people know their tailbone because you've never fallen on one. You know how painful that can be when it gets jammed. So as you're inhaling and exhaling, I want you to focus on your sacrum and your tailbone. And as you breathe, is there any movement in the pelvis at all? Or are you totally still in this breath? Abdomen, pelvic floor, and now sacrum and coccyx or tailbone. And then spread that awareness now to your lower back, even beyond the sacrum. So when you inhale and exhale, is there a little bit of movement in the lower back? By the way, there's no right or wrong answer here. You might feel that when you breathe, when you exhale, your back comes closer to the floor. When you inhale, it lifts a little bit. Then just before we come out again, just take that awareness a little higher up. How does your rib cage feel? How do your shoulder blades feel? And then roll over onto your side, left or right side. Come on up, and we'll set up next for a little bit of supportive Baddha-Konasana, Supta Baddha-Konasana. So if you don't have blankets, you'll do that just lying on the floor without blankets. You'll lie on your back, you'll put the soles of your feet together with your knees out. If you do have blankets, you're gonna take one or two of your blankets, fold them on top. If you're using towels or something, it works just as well. If you have a bolster, feel free to use your bolster, or pillows even. Pillows work just as well. And then take, maybe your third blanket and put it. So again, you can do this with one blanket, two blankets, pillows. You can lie flat on the floor. It doesn't matter. Okay. So then, if you're using blankets, you're going to sit in front of them and bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha-Konasana. And then you're going to lengthen. Remember, I said I always want to lengthen through, like lift your rib cage off your body, your pelvis, and come down to lying down. And then just bring your arms out to the side. And we're going to stay here for a little bit. You stay there. I'm just going to come up so I can talk to you. And again, we're just going to experience our breath. So when the abdomen moves, the pelvic floor expands and contracts with the breath, the sacrum and coccyx do a little dance along with the lower back. When we have all that in sync, that's sort of the core of good breathing, having that little bit of mobility, that little bit of the ability to expand the body. So as you lie in Supta Baddha-Konasana, can you just focus on your breath and just be aware of your pelvis, your tailbone, your sacrum. Be aware of what's moving and what's stagnant. keeping your present moment on the breath and on what you're doing. Remove any tension that you're holding on to. Relax your face, your jaw, tongue, especially. Your hands relax. If you're gripping or playing with your hands in some way, just let them release. Ask them to let go. When you watch the video of this recording, you can always extend this restorative pose a little bit longer at home. I want to fit a few things in today. So use your body to roll over onto the right side and take your support away. And then come back down onto the floor. So now we have no support. Maybe you can still have something soft underneath your head if you would like. Lay your head in the camera. All right, there we go. All right, and then now what you're going to do is we're going to do Tadasana lying down. So push through the balls of the feet and the heels. Take your hands to your side. Inhale, lift your arms up over your head. Get really nice and long. And as you do that, keep the ribs, the back ribs down on the floor. Don't let the back ribs pop up. Reach behind you. Draw the belly in and up on your exhale. Backing up. And then exhale and release the arms back down to your sides. We'll do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale all the way back down. Inhale. Notice I'm going very slow. Keeping my rib cage down, not lifting it way off the floor, so the space between my ribs and the floor should not get any bigger. All right, and last time, inhale up. And exhale down. Now bend your knees. Take your feet as wide apart as you can, or as wide as your yoga mat. And then drop your knees to the left-hand side. Take your left ankle and put it on top of your right knee. You can extend your arms. Experience the pose, breathing and feeling. One more breath. release your feet back down again. So the starting point, drop your knees to the right hand side. Take your right ankle and put it on top of your left. It's not the full version that we do of this pose, but it's just to release the quad and the psoas a little bit. Your knee should not hurt. If your knee hurts, please support it with a block or a blanket. One more big inhalation and one more big exhalation. And then slowly. And again, roll over to the side. Okay, so we're going to do a wide leg forward bend. And you can do one of two things here. You can sit on your block if you know that feels good, or sit on a blanket. You're gonna fold your blanket. Maybe you need two blankets. It's hard to say. Okay, and we're doing a wide leg forward bend. So we're gonna take our legs out as wide as you can. Woo. So say that because all this walking I'm doing is certainly my inner thighs a little bit tight. So your kneecaps are facing up, your quads are facing up, your shin bones facing up. You're pushing out through the soles of your feet, and you're finding neutral pelvis with your spine. So if you walk your hands up to about your waist and you're feeling your spine stick out a lot, that means that you need to get up a little bit higher on a second blanket. Okay, so get or fold your blanket a little bit more so it's higher. I've been dealing with a little bit of sciatic issues this week, so I'm going to sit on two blankets. Okay, then, as I said, feet are pushing out, ball of the foot and the heel pushing out, kneecaps drawing out, quads engaged. Tighten up these muscles, hug the muscles to the bones, so that these, when I say tighten up, I really mean engage the muscles of the leg. Find your neutral pelvis and begin to think about moving forward. But if your back starts to round, then you can't go as far as you would like. So I could come further towards you, I could come more forward, but if it's compromising my back, it's not worth it. All I want to feel here is a nice stretch in the inner groins, maybe in the hamstring as well. So that's all that matters. So as I draw my belly back and my hip joints in, and I focus on my breath, and I draw my spine forward, I'm finding that I'm able to go a little bit further in the pose. Keep the breastbone lifted, keep your shoulder blades down. Your hands can rest on your legs, on the floor. Some of you are very, open, and you can go a lot further than me. Like I said, I'm dealing with a little bit of a back issue this week I've been working on, and so I'm not going that far in this particular pose. Inner groins, I can really feel them. Focusing on the breath, focusing on what is releasing. I like going to where you feel resistance, which is even a nicer word than like going to where you feel a stretch. It's kind of like going a little bit beyond that. It's going to where you feel like, oh yeah, there's resistance there. It's going to happen anymore. I'm at my right place. One more breath here. Now to come out, don't just, grab your legs. Take your behind your knees with your hands and draw the legs forward. And then bring them together in Dandasana. Take your hands to your sides, sit up really nice and straight. Even lifting, like I said earlier, lifting that rib cage up higher from your hips, getting more lift in the breastbone. And then exhale and release. All right. And come back into child's pose. So, Balasana is child's pose. And this time, see how your child pose feels and how your breath feels in the pose. And then slowly come on up. Okay, we're going to Sarvangasana now. So we're going to use a block again. And you might need 2 blocks, or you might just need 1 block, depending on how high you can lift your hips. Okay, so we're going to go this way. I'm going to lie down. And like I said, I've got my blocks. You know, if you don't have blocks, books work well. You can even just support yourself on a pillow or your blankets. Like I said, towels are really good because they're quite firm. Okay, so we'll lie down. Bandha Sarvangasana, so it's like, it's not shoulder stand, it's like kind of half, right? It's like bridge pose. So have your heels close to your ankles, push your elbows into the floor, drawing the shoulder blades together, lift the hips, and you can either stick 1 or 2 blocks or 1 block but on the high side. So we want to support the pelvis here. And I want to be on the tops of my shoulders. And then I'm going to hang out. Don't push your belly out. Let the belly draw down towards the floor. And again, you can have something soft underneath your head, but not too much because you don't want to compromise the neck. There should still be this space between the back of your neck and the floor. Remember, I said it's a little slower practice, just focusing on our breath, resting a little longer in the poses, focusing on the inhalation and the exhalation. Figuring out how your body is feeling and releasing. Now, we're going to go into what we call legs up the wall. If you are at home and you have a wall, you're welcome to do legs up the wall, against the wall. Or if you want to, you can, slide up to your couch or whatever chair that you have or whatever. If you're not close or it's inconvenient, the pose that I just want you to do, I'm taking 1 block out. You can be on any side of your block though, the lower or the high side. I'm going to go sort of midway. And then you're going to bring your knees up to your chest and bring your feet up towards the ceiling. So we're still doing that legs up the wall, but just with no wall. So that's the pose. But if you find that this might be too much for you, feel free to use the wall and support your legs. So I'll give you a minute to get in there. Those of us who are not using the wall will push our feet up towards the ceiling. Just hang out here. We're wanting the blood to flow down into the legs, into the abdomen, into the belly, into the heart. This pose is really excellent for blood pressure, regulating blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, it makes it lower. If you have low blood pressure, it brings it up a little higher. Really good for varicose veins. And it's good for the reproductive system. Those are just some of the things that legs up the wall are. When you're supported, of course, it's more of a relaxation pose. When you're doing this, there's this effort involved here. obviously, those people who have the leg supported by a chair or their couch or a wall are going to be able to stay a lot longer than those of us who are free-forming it. So feel free to, if your legs are getting sore, for you to take one leg down, then the other leg, rest for a second, and extend one leg back up, and the other leg up. Read it, try again. Breathing into the rib cage. Pushing through the balls of the feet, the heels. Drawing your quads back towards the back of your legs. Front thighs push back. And again, bending your knees if you're tired and dropping. So those of you still at the wall, you can stay there for one more second. Those of us who did the free-forming pose, you're going to lift your hips up, take the block out, and when you come down to line, you're going to go vertebrae by vertebrae, starting at your head. So you start to round the back or drop the back. It should really say drop the back down towards the floor, one vertebrae at a time. And this should take some time. You're not going quickly, trying to feel each vertebrae as it drops until eventually your pelvis is back on the floor. I've still got a ways to go. That's what I mean. We're going really nice and slow here. Little bit, little bit, little bit, little bit. Until eventually come down. The last thing that should touch is the bottom of your sacrum, your tailbone. If you have one that's accessible. Okay, those of you who are legs at the wall, bring your knees up to your chest, roll over onto your side, and come up to sitting. And I'm just doing a few windshield wipers while I'm waiting to catch up with you guys who are at the wall. Just letting your knees come from left to the right. And then roll over onto your right side and slowly come up to sitting. Now, we're going to sit in Sukhasana, so cross-legged position. And again, you might want either your blankets or your block to lift the hips up here, okay? If you have a strap, it's ideal. Remember, for each class, just to have your props ready. So Sukhasana is crossing at the ankles, and the feet are active. So you're pushing through the ball of the foot and the heel, and you're on the edges, your baby toe side of the feet. And then you're going to take a strap or a tie, whatever you have. If you don't have a tie, use your blanket, just improvise. And you're going to take that strap, if you watch me right now, and I'm going to put it around my right knee. I'm going to grab the two ends of the blanket or my strap. I'm going to take those behind my back, and I'm going to pull my strap away from my knee. Then I'm going to take my right hand and put it on the right knee or on the left. Actually, let's do the left. Kind of works better. And then I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and rotate. I'm rotating to the left. I'm using now, it's actually good that I have this right hand on my left knee because I can use that for left. Okay? So the hips don't move. You're rotating through the rib cage. If you have neck issues, please draw your neck in. soft. The neck. Don't straighten your neck. Or keep the chin down. The rib cage and the shoulders that are taking the action. Tall in your spine. Inhale and lengthen, exhale and after your next exhalation, so we come back to the center. Take your strap now on your left knee. So I take it around the knee, and then I grab the two ends of my strap, and I draw them behind my back, and I grab it with the strap with my right arm now, and my left hand is going to my knee. It's kind of the beginning of that pose where we're going to bind our arms together, our hands together. Okay, so again, once you're in the position, you're not getting it, just do a normal twist. Inhale up, exhale, and release. To the right. Through the rib cage, the shoulders. Inhaling, lengthening, exhaling, and releasing. Always getting taller on your inhalation. Always twisting on your exhalation. Good. And then exhale and release. Come back to center. Okay, we'll come off the block now. Your legs out in front. Oh, I forgot. I've got to sit on my blankets. I'm going to do a little bit of a forward bend here. Paschimottanasana, straight leg forward bend. So again, I'm going to use two blankets. I don't know if you noticed that, because my pelvis rolls back if I only use one. Okay, so you can sit on your block too, or on your books, whatever you have. And again, grab a belt, a strap, a blanket, your scarf, whatever you need. Place it around your feet. You know, again, just like the wide leg forward bend, this is not about getting your head to touch your shins, but if that happens, good for you. It's more about just working the body today. So we want to push through the balls of the feet and the heels. We want to draw the kneecaps up. We want to engage the quads. You're going to use your belt for leverage, and you're going to bring your spine forward. Okay, be very cautious about how your back is feeling. Engage the core. The more you draw the belly in and up, and even draw the hip points in together, the more you're going to be able to go further in the pose, if that's what you're aiming for. Also, you can abduct your feet. So take them away from each other. So the outside of the feet are going to be into the strap. Push through the balls of the feet and the heels. Point your toes towards your head. Come forward as far as you can. So we have the legs straight here. If I were to bend my knees, of course I could come further forward, but that's just not what we're doing today. Just stay and breathe. Be one with pose. I think the quote from this week was that I read was Mr. Iyengar talks about how your whole body has to experience the pose, how your whole body has to sort of sing together, sing in tune the pose. So we need to experience this everywhere. So that's why we're talking about our legs, our feet, our quads. Even my arms are working as I'm pulling my chest forward and through. Really feel my back muscles working, my abdomen, getting nice and tall. Good. And then exhale and release the belt. So Sukhasana again, same pose we did before. I'm still sitting on my blanket. And walk your hands out in front. Draw the tailbone back down to the floor. Think Virasana. Think, you know, we did the very first pose we did. The tailbone draws back away from your head. Breastbone stays up. Again, pushing through the feet and just coming forward. See if you can go a little bit more forward. And a little bit more. And then walk back. Excellent. We'll change. I have my right leg in front. Now I'm going to put it behind. Again, I'm crossed at the ankles. I'm not doing a traditional cross-legged pose. This is a cross at the ankles. And then I'm going to come forward again. Breathe, lengthen. So draw my tailbone. It's like trying to put, like, you know, Woody Woodpecker trying to put your tailbone down into the piece of wood. A little concerned there that I was making the wrong analogy, but anyway, we got there. Okay, here we go. Breastbone up. Walking forward. Some of you might be able to go right down and you can go as far as you would like. As long as you're keeping that length. So again, the rib cage is lifting off the pelvis. Then walk back. Okay, we're going to go into cow face pose, Kumbhasana. And this is not accessible for everybody if you have knee issues. So this is the pose where we take one knee in front of the other. So I'm going to just show you, okay? So here's my left knee. I think I just decided that I should wear lighter colored pants when I'm doing this. Okay, and then take the other knee in front. You can see the contrast. And so one knee is right in front of the other, and then I sit back, and this is where perhaps you might need a block again to sit back. Okay. Now, once I get here, it's often important for me to move my calf out of the way, make sure I have both sit bones on my support. And then I'm going to just sit up nice and tall. If you have tightness in the piriformis and in the IT bands, you might just find that this is like the max that you can go. Okay. So I have my right knee on top. I'm going to take my right arm on top now when I do the arm part of this pose. Okay, so right arm comes over the left. I bend the elbows and I grab the hand. Okay, optional again if you have shoulder issues or if just like it's so excruciating in the bottom half. Oh, again, if you have knee issues and you cannot do this pose because of the knees, you lie down on your back, cross your legs, and hug them into you. Okay, so that's the variation. You're getting the same benefit as you're getting in this pose. Hey, oh, can't hear somebody's playing a movie or something too loud upstairs. My house. Hear very clearly. Just focus on our breath. Ignore that, and then we're going to exhale and come forward. So again, if you're not doing your arms, just use your hands for support to come forward. If you can come forward right over that leg. And then inhale, one out, and exhale, release. Okay, and then take your legs out front, give them a little shake, and we'll do the opposite side. So this time, my right leg will be on the bottom instead of the top, and my left leg will be on top. I like to come forward and get both my knees in alignment, and then I would like to sit back. Okay, and adjusting the calf. And then sit up nice and tall to start. And then we'll take our hands out to the side, bring left arm on top of the right, and join as best you can. So I'm going to ask again, I know this person is listening, can you please turn the TV down upstairs so that I can't hear it? Thank you. You're breathing, you're feeling the shoulder blades come away from each other. Then you're going to exhale and slowly release down over your legs. Or if you can't do that, just come down, use your hands. Breathing, feel the abdomen and the thigh, just like you did at the beginning of the class. We did that child's pose, and you could feel the abdomen in your thighs. And then inhale and run out. Ah, very good. Okay. Sorry, I'm going a little bit over time here. I hope it's okay. We're going to do one more pose, and that is pigeon pose. So again, if you cannot do pigeon pose, then you can do it lying down on your back and bring the leg up to you out on an ankle, like a happy baby pose. I'll show you in a second. But if you can do pigeon pose, I'm going to use a block today. You can use your blankets or a bolster, so you can put like, whatever you need. And then we're going to take our right leg over. And that's a fake fireplace behind me, else my blankets just would have probably gone on fire. Okay, so right leg out in front. I'm going to support my sit bone, and I'm going to lift my hips and turn the left hip inward. I want to flex that front foot so that I'm not compromising the knee. And then I'm going to walk my hands out in front and come down onto my forearms and rest in pigeon pose. So those of you who cannot do pigeon pose, if you watch me for a second, again, you'll lie on your back, and you can do a one-handed happy baby pose. You can draw the ankle in towards the knee if you're watching me. Whatever works for you. You can also do the pose standing up on a table if you have a table nearby, or even a chair. Okay, so that's where we're at. In that pigeon pose, and we're just going to hang out here again. We're doing kind of a more slow, sort of a little bit more restorative type here today. So just hang out there for another minute. I don't want my right hip to be sitting on the floor, so it's either sitting on a block or a blanket. I don't want to be like this, leaning to one side. My pelvis is neutral and level. Okay, One up. And let's do the other side. So again, I'm going to use a block under my pelvis. And I'm going to put my hip. Again, lift the hips up, keep your hands for support. Tilt the pelvis towards the floor and rest the sit bone. Activate the front foot, push through the ball of the foot and the heel. Particularly push your outer heel, the outer heel of that left foot into the floor. Remember, we're not leaning onto the left hip. We are suspended in the middle with both, just like think of lunge pose, both hip bones facing forward. And then again, come down onto your forearms. Breathe into whatever you're feeling is the tightest. Whatever needs awareness and attention. And then when you're ready, slowly come back up to sitting. And we're ready for Shavasana. So please get comfortable. Figure out what you need in the practice today for end relaxation. Something soft under your head. Lying down, close your eyes. In case there's anybody that's not sure about Shavasana, I'll display it for you. Something soft underneath your head. This is where we want to be really quiet, really still. My body feels pretty good after that practice. Again, just like at the beginning of class, I would like you to focus on that pelvic bowl. Focus on your abdomen rising and falling. Focus on your pelvic floor, space between your pubic bone and your tailbone. Focus on the sacrum and your tailbone, the coccyx. Focus on that just above the sacrum area, lower back area. Feel the rhythm of the breath. Feel the rhythm of the movement of the body with breath. What is moving and what is not moving. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Stretch your arms up over your head. Point your toes and flex your feet. Bring your hands down with a great big sigh. Your hands up towards the ceiling. Again, point your toes and flex your feet. And again, bring your hands down with a great big sigh. Bring your knees up towards your chest. Roll gently from side to side. Roll over onto your right side whenever you're ready. Slowly come up to sit. Your hands to your heart. Up your head. Just honor the divine within. Grateful for the practice today. Namaste. Thank you very much for coming. I'm going to turn off the recording now and unmute you all.